Picture a step ladder or a regular ladder where you would climb different steps when you're ready. First, we started off with composure. So that is the foundation of self-control manners. And now we are ready, our dog should be ready for the second step, to add in a distraction to kind of solidify that self-control. So what I'm talking about is we're going to be moving into food self-control, which is any kind of dropped item or anything that could be a choking hazard on a walk or anything like that, okay? So how we're going to do that is we're going to go right back into, good. We're going to go right back into that composed state. We're going to ignore our dogs. We're going to give them about 2 feet of leash. But now, and we're going to continuously reward them no matter what if they offer good behaviors. If you notice, Hogan here gave me a down. So I rewarded that with physical touch. Okay? So now I'm bringing out the big guns. I got some bologna in a Ziploc bag, and he's not allowed to have this, obviously. And that's why, hence it's in the Ziploc bag. And good. I want him to smell it. Good. But I never want him to get to it. I'm going to facilitate like I'm eating. I might be watching TV. I might be just on my phone, but I'm eating. I'm doing something that makes this very interesting to him. My theory behind this is if he's not going to go after something stinky like this, he's not going to go after like a sock, a cell phone, or anything that's, inanimate on the ground that just doesn't have a good odor to it that he would like to eat. So what I'm going to do is, before I pretend like I'm going to accidentally drop this on the floor, I'm going to pick his leash back up. Good boy. Good. And I'm going to lay it over my leg just like this. Okay. Good. So I'm giving him about 2 feet of leash. So I'm going to drop this about 2.5 feet away from him. Okay. Good boy. You see how he looked away from that? He disengaged from that. So I'm rewarding that, letting him know that that has no value. You can have something from me. So I'm going to give him something from my hand. Good. So he's learned that he can get something from my hand or from his food bowl. Nothing off the ground is for him. Okay. So I will move it a little bit closer because I want to entice him. Good. You see, I gave him the opportunity to make the right decision. I don't want to set him up for failure. I want him to learn, but at the same time, I want him to make his own choices. I want him to learn through trial and error. Was that a good choice or a bad choice? So always allow them the opportunity to make the choice, whether it's a good choice or a bad choice. And we, as dog owners, supply the positive and negative consequences for those actions, okay? Good boy. Good. And then once he gets used to being around something like this on the ground next to him and he can casually relax, then we can set him up, just like in the composure exercise. We can set him up for off-leash control in the house around dropped items that might not be for him. And then I can stand up and slowly walk away from him. Now, I'm not going to just leave the room out of eyesight because dogs are opportunists, and he will learn, oh, if he leaves, I can get it. That's also why I don't teach, okay, now you can have it when I'm done with the exercise, because that will build anticipation, and we don't want to build anticipation for dropped items. Good, because that could be a choking hazard. So when I return, I reward him for not being bothersome to the dropped item on the ground, okay? And then I continuously add a little more distance. And he's allowed to do what he wants. He's not in a down. He's not in a sit. Good. And I'm just walking around casually, ignoring him, but I'm watching him at the same time, okay? And we're just going to build this duration of the exposure of him being around something on the ground that's very, tempting to get. Good boy. Good job. And then I'll come sit back down with him. Good. And then when he gets really good with it on the floor, then we're going to make it even more harder by putting something, whatever you like to use, whether it's leftovers, whether it's, a piece of clothing, you can use whatever your dog is enticed to get. We can put it at nose level, okay? Good boy. And then we can walk our dog right next to it. Come on, good boy. Good boy, come on. Yes. Yep. Good boy. So as soon as he looks away, he gets something good from me. I could be just having a conversation with somebody with something in my hand and don't even look at him, and I drop it on the floor. And eventually you can have this with your dog to where you can just walk away from him. I could turn my back to him. I could, look out the window. And he's not going to bother it because I've worked with him so much on this. And for him to master something like this, it just takes consistency and it takes repetition for it to become muscle memory. And I'm only talking maybe 2-3 minutes, maybe twice a day at the most. That's all you got to do. So this is going to be your homework for the week. I want you to work on this for about a week, but also work on the composure first. Go right into composure, then go into this to add a distraction, add something more to challenge him a little bit, make him think. If he commits toward it, I want you to redirect him and lightly tap him back into a loose leash, just like with the composure exercise. And as soon as he looks away from said object or whatever you're using, you have to reward him. Otherwise, he's not going to learn what you want from him. Okay? So that's going to be your homework. And I hope this helps you guys. So this is going to help with a lot of counter surfing. So if you start off on the floor and then you work up to a slightly elevated state until you can put something like that on the edge of the counter and walk him past it. And then maybe put a long leash on him and then just kind of like, watch him from a distance when he's ready for it. Don't set him up for failure to where you have to correct him because it's really not fair to him. If you haven't taught him what you had in mind up front and up close, then he's not going to know what you mean from a distance, okay? So always work close with him at first. Gradually give him more leash to where he's earned that freedom, okay? Good job, buddy. All right. So, good boy. So, me, Hogan, and Hunter will see you soon, okay? All right, you guys take care.